Hey, locker room, what's up? I wanted to jump on out here. I'm in Puerto Rico, taking a little breaky-eco, a little break, just a little quick, snafu. I usually take a little quick break right after the football season. Then it's usually during this time, which is NBA All-Star Weekend, and then the NBA really don't get good till after All-Star Weekend anyway. And after the football season, so I'll turn over and jump over all the way in, the deep end of basketball. But from Puerto Rico, I wanted to jump on and just throw something your way since I guess I would say President Trump threw something their way. Yes, you guys hear all the news, and I want to tell my man thank you to Big Nate Newton, the big fella. You see, I was just sitting over here, and then I got the news about big fella. You see this right here, where it says, can you guys see that? Well, anyway, if you can't see it, I'll just read it. I'll read it. It says, exclusive, former Cowboys Nate Newton on pardon tells the president, thank you. And it goes on in this pardon, and Nate talks about, Nate Newton expresses gratitude to Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin. I appreciate that, big fella. He talks about after getting out of jail, prison, whatever you want to call it. You guys remember, Nate had that little situation. Matter of fact, they got to bring him on the White House and ask him about it since the White House just pardoned him. That's a good idea, Michael. I will do that, just to ask him about it. But y'all remember Nate had a little situation. And then Nate did a little time. When Nate first came out, and of course, I was there. I was working at ESPN at the time. I had my own radio show, and I wanted to give Nate an opportunity to put down and get in some work. So I brought him on, and then Randy Galloway brought him on, and then next thing you know, he had a show on. And I remember telling Big Fella then, Big Fella, don't worry about all of this. Just let's move forward now. I had him on my show first, right? Hey y'all, he had just gotten out. He had just gotten out. So I brought him on. And I was, it was so funny because we were joking and laughing and having fun. But I was asking Big Fella, did they get you? And he said, Big Fella, I asked right on the show, did they get you, Big Fella? He said, what do you mean, man? I said, Big Fella, you know what I mean. Did they get you? Did they get you like they get you when they get you if you get locked up in there? Yeah, he was like, I said, Big Fella, did the soap drop in the shower? I had to ask. Everybody that was listening to the Michael Irvin show at that time wanted to know one thing. Did they get you? And Big Fella held up pretty good. He said, no, they didn't get you. And he even told me that they gave him, because of who he was and playing for the Cowboys, they looked out for him and everything. So that went well, but it was funny working through that on radio. And the fact that he was so open and cool and talking about it, that's what I said, Big Fella, as long as you do that, you'll be fine. As long as you're willing to talk about your situations, people will receive it, they will respect you and say, hey, we all make mistakes and move forward. And that's what he's done. And Big Fella's done a great job with it. Remember he had all of that situation and even the stuff they used to try to put on him before that with, the dogs and dog fighting and stuff like that. But what I love in reading the article and hearing about it, because I haven't talked to Big Fella myself personally. I'll call him when I get back to Dallas this week and talk to him. But what I love most is when Jerry called Nate in to ask about being pardoned, Nate's response was, For what crime? You know, I got a few crimes out there. I was like, I could think about it, man. I thought about big fella being up in that office, in Jerry's office, and the number of times I've gone in that office when I had to get asked about things like the White House and things that happened at Eric's house, and I kept saying, I was like, Jerry, you know, I just felt a hair on the back of my neck stand up thinking about those times, you know, when those things went on. So I could imagine big fella going in that room, Nate Newton saying, for what crime? All of them? Yeah, that's what he had. All of them? You know, that's cool, man. But let me give you, who else he pardoned? Because I thought it was great. I mean, you know, I don't know. Now, you guys know, nobody can defend me. But I finally found someone that can. Simply Safe is the only defender that can cover the playmaker. And the playmaker has a great deal to share with you guys. Simply Safe has what they call active guard outdoor protection, using AI cameras and live agents to protect you always. There's no long-term contracts, no cancellation fees, an affordable plan starting at only $1 a day, and a 60-day satisfaction guarantee. Sounds pretty good to me. I just got my Simply Safe equipment. I love it. It's easy, it's great, and you should get it too. So why wait? Protect your home today and enjoy 50% off a new Simply Safe system with professional monitoring at simplysafe.com/playmaker. That's simplysafe.com/playmaker. Remember, there's no safe like Simply Safe. I love Nate. I just don't know how to take it. You know, I told you guys I don't do politics, but I do great friends. And Nate Noon, I'm consider Nate one of my best friends, one of my great friends. So to see this happens for him, I'm happy for him. Nate is probably the perfect person to really get a partner. I mean, you know, because Nate's a good dude. He just made a bad decision, and I'm glad somebody saw that. I'm certainly glad that President Trump acknowledged that by giving him the pardon. He gave other people a pardon too. Newton was one of 5 former NFL players who received President pardon Thursday. The others are Joe Flacco, Jamar Lewis, Travis Henry, and the late Billy Cannon. This is interesting because the first time I saw this article, I thought I saw Ray Rice on there also. And now there is no Ray Rice, so I don't know. That was interesting. But I just wanted to jump on and let you guys know where I am and what's going on, and I'll be back this week and we can jump into, because then we'll be coming on the backside of the NBA, and it's all we need right now. Of course, we'll also be talking about the combine and all the things that go on around the NFL also, because the NFL never rests, and they never give up the crown of being talked about everywhere, every day. So right now I'm in my room too. This is like a little, I guess, a sunbathing room of my hotel. I'm literally in my hotel room, sunbathing room. You couldn't find hotel rooms out here. So for me to find this, because I just hopped on a plane and came over here, you know what I mean? That's how I roll. I don't like to let people know I'm coming, because then you can set up a sting. I shouldn't be saying all of that since Nate just got pardoned. And I also wonder, I don't need any pardons, do I? Look, I didn't do any time. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah, I may have to look into that. But let me just say congrats to all my boys. Jamal Lewis, Nate, Joe Flacco, to all the guys that were so blessed with that presidential pardon. yeah. I want to say I appreciate it from my boys, and I do, but I don't want people to get mad at me for saying, Trump, I appreciate you looking out for my guy Nate Newton. If I said that, Trump, I appreciate you looking out for such a great dude like Nate Newton. People may get mad, so I'm not even going to say that. You know what I mean? I'm just going to say I appreciate everything for such a good man like Nate Newton from everybody. Let's just do it that way. And also, you know, for those of you, happy Valentine's Day. All right, locker room, I appreciate you.